Okay, so good morning dear cadets. So last video, that was the normal video of 14th August. Something I taught you. Beyond that, in today's video I am going to teach. Okay, so this is the with the continuation of the video which I have given you or I have uploaded on the YouTube on 14th August. So there onwards syllabus I am teaching here. So okay, so as you know, we are in the chemical property of acids. So reaction of acid with the metal I taught, reaction of acid with metal, carbonate and bicarbonate I have discussed, including their activity. Now electrical conductivity of acids, that also I have discussed. Today I am going to discuss here the reaction of acid with bases. Reaction of acids with bases. So you know, when the acids react with the bases, what is the name of that reaction? That reaction is known as neutralization reaction or salt formation reaction. Why it is called salt formation reaction? Because salt is formed during the course of salt neutralization reaction. Just see one prototype example I have given here. HCl, this is hydrochloric acid. This is sodium hydroxide, that is the base. When they react together, they form sodium chloride, that is salt and water. Okay. So this is a typical example of neutralization reaction. Nothing is special about this one. Okay. Another reaction is reaction of acid with metallic oxides. Metallic oxides. So whenever metallic oxides react with the acid, they form salt and water. Okay. Now question arises here, what is metallic oxides? So now here I have given the metallic oxides two examples, calcium oxide and copper oxide. So just see, metallic oxides or oxides are metal, means one is metal and another one is oxide ion. Just see here, this is calcium 2 positive, this is oxygen 2 negative. So crisscross this one, this is calcium oxide. So the calcium is metal, oxygen is non-metal, but here this is oxide ion. So here this is metal. This is an example of metallic oxide is a class of compound. Individual name is sodium oxide, potassium oxide, calcium oxide, magnesium oxide, okay, copper oxide, zinc oxide. Are you getting my point or not? So this is one of the example, copper oxide. So Cu is 2 positive, oxygen is 2 negative. So what is this one? This is copper oxide. Okay. So two example I have written here as a metal oxides, calcium oxide and copper oxide. So when metallic oxides, let it be calcium oxide or copper oxide, react with acids, they form salt and water. Just see one example here, copper oxide. You know copper oxide is black in color. What is the color of this one? It is black in color. When it reacts with hydrochloric acid, I wrote here aqueous. The meaning of aqueous means dilute solution of HCl. So what is formed here? This is salt, copper second chloride. Now you can say cupric chloride also. Always remember, in IUPAC system, if one element exhibit more than one oxidation state, so their oxidation state must be mentioned in small bracket. Like this is copper second chloride. Common name is cupric chloride. Ic means two oxidation state of copper. So here, rather than writing cuprous and cupric, it is better to write copper second chloride. So this second Roman numeral is indicating that oxidation state of copper is second. What is the color of this one? This is bluish green. What is this one? Bluish green. Now let us do one activity. Just see. Here this is one beaker, and with the help of glass rod, keep on adding here dilute hydrochloric acid, and earlier only in the beaker what you have taken, copper second oxide, black color. Okay, stir it. After stirring, when the reaction gets completed, you will get the bluish green color compound of copper second chloride. So ultimately, what is the conclusion of this reaction? The conclusion of this reaction is, when metallic oxides react with acids, they form salt and water. Okay. Is there any point here? No, I don't think any issue is there. So now let us move towards the more about the acids. Let us have more idea about the acids. Okay, so let us move about more information regarding the acids. Okay, so far what we have discussed the chemical property of the acids. Now let us explore more ideas about the acids. Okay, so acids basically we can classify into three categories. Naturally occurring acids. What is the meaning of naturally occurring acids? They are found in the nature. Okay, in the nature basically how many things are there? Living and non-living things. Okay, so naturally occurring acids means we are talking of these acids which are found in the nature. Okay, just see, daily we are eating these fruits. Orange, which acid is there? Citric acid. Even in the lemon, citrus fruits also this acid is only found. Apple, malic acid. Tomatoes, oxalic acid. Tamarind, tartaric acid. Sour milk or curd, lactic acid. Vinegar, acetic acid. Proteins, amino acids. Okay, protein is very essential food ingredients. Okay, what kind of acids are there? Amino acids. 20 amino acid is required to prepare 1 molecules of protein. Okay, out of 20, 10 are essential amino acid, 10 are non-essential amino acid. You will study in the higher class in the biology. Okay, so this is all about the naturally occurring acids. You just remember these means fruits and what kind of acid is found into them. Okay, next one is organic acids. So what is the meaning of organic acids? Organic acids are those acids which are obtained from living being. What is the meaning of living being? Plants and animals. Acetic acid, okay, formic acid, okay, these are the acids. Means organic acids, they are extracted from plants and animals only. There is one problem, all organic acids are weak acid. Now what is the meaning of weak acid? What is the meaning of strong acid? Now in subsequent topic I will deal, but as of now I am telling you which dissociate, which ionize completely, that is called weak acid, and which dissociate completely, which dissociate 100%, that is called strong acid, and which dissociate partially means not 100%, that is called weak acid. So organic acid, they are weak acid, they do not dissociate completely. Partially they dissociate, that is why they are weak acids. Now what are inorganic acids? Inorganic acids are those acids which are obtained from rocks and minerals. Rocks and minerals. Okay. Example, sulfuric acid, nitric acid, carbonic acid. Okay. Hydrochloric acid. Hydrochloric acid is also mineral acid only. They are obtained from rocks and minerals. Okay. And these are inorganic acids they are strong acid. Just write down here. They are strong acids. Strong acids. They are strong acids. Okay. Now there is one question. What is that question? And often it is used to be asked. What is this one? Why is acidic food stuff like curd not kept in bronze or brass vessel? Okay, are you getting my point or not? Acidic food stuffs means the food items which are containing acids, they should not be kept in the bronze or brass vessels. You know bronze and brass, they are alloy, okay, and they contain sufficient amount of zinc and copper metal, and you know acids react with the metals. Acid react with the metals and they form salt and water. Now here if food is acidic, okay, and if you have kept in the bronze and brass vessel, so bronze and brass, they contain copper and zinc. So these copper zinc metal, they will react with the acid which is present in the food stuff and form toxic substance and make the food unfit for consumption. This is the only reason, that is why bronze and brass vessels, acidic food stuff should not be kept. Okay, I hope that you understand these questions. Sometimes they ask. Okay, so now let me rub this one. Afterwards we'll tell you some more idea about the acids. Okay, so chemical nature of acids. So chemical nature of acids, we can write this heading also. What do all acids have in common? Okay, so just see here I wrote some of the acids. Organic, inorganic, both acids I have written here. HCl, H2SO4, H2CO3, acetic acid, formic acid and phosphoric acid. Okay, make their reaction with water. Okay, H2O. Here also H2O. Here also H2O. Here also H2O. Okay. Now just see here. See carefully. Okay. Now see. This reaction, H is there. Almost in all the acids, hydrogen is there. Here also hydrogen. Here also hydrogen. This is also hydrogen. So just see. This will give one hydrogen to this one. All will give. Now this can give two hydrogen. One water can take one hydrogen. So here two hydrogen is there, so make it two. Here also make it two. Here one hydrogen. This hydrogen only will come. Always remember, from the organic acid that hydrogen will come out which is bonded with oxygen. Here also this hydrogen will come out. And who will accept that hydrogen? Water. So here water is a hydrogen ion acceptor. Okay. Here also three are there. So three water molecules. Okay. These hydrogen will come here. So now here just see. If one HCl will give one H to this one, so this will become H3O positive. What is this one? Hydronium ion. What is the name of this one? Hydronium ion. What kind of ion? Hydronium positive ion. Now here what is there? Cl negative aqueous. Okay. So hydronium ion and now chloride ion will be formed. Now same reaction can be written like that also. Just see. You write here HCl and instead of writing water you just write here aqueous. So that is understood that you have written water here. So please remember this one. Either one reaction you can write. When you are writing water molecules here, then you have to write here hydronium ion as a product. If you are not writing water here, so directly you write AQ you have written, it is understood that water is there. Then you will write here H positive aqueous plus Cl negative aqueous. Okay. Now same is the case here also. Here what is there? Just see. Two molecules of H3O positive plus SO4 2 negative aqueous. Here also aqueous. Okay. Now you can write here H2SO4 aqueous and here what is there? 2H positive plus SO4 negative aqueous. Okay. Both way you can write. Okay. Now here also what is there? Two molecules of H3O positive hydronium ion plus CO3 2 negative. This is chloride ion, this is sulfate ion, this is carbonate ion. Now same reaction can be written. Same reaction can be written like that also. H2CO3. Write down here aqueous. Now here 2H positive aqueous and CO3 2 negative aqueous. Okay. Next one is here H. Now this H will come here. So H3O positive. Write down here also. There is no need to write aqueous because already you have written here what to say, water molecules plus here what is there? CH3 COO negative acetate ion, or you can write like that CH3 COOH aqueous and here what is there? CH3 COO negative plus H positive aqueous. Okay, same is case with the formic acid also. H3O positive hydronium ion. This is positive ion, just like ammonium ion, NH4 positive. This is hydronium ion. Okay, plus HCOO negative. Okay, aqueous. Here also aqueous. So here what is there now? R also you can write HCOOH. Here what is there? Aqueous. So now here what is there? HCOO negative aqueous plus here H positive aqueous. Okay. Now phosphoric acid also write down here 3H3O positive plus what is there? PO4 3 negative aqueous, and here also you can write H3PO4 aqueous. So now here what is there? 3H positive plus PO4 3 negative. Okay, phosphate ion. What is this one? Phosphate ion. Okay, so now ultimately what should be the definition of acid? Acids are those chemical substance which furnishes H positive ion or hydronium ion when dissolved in the water. Okay, am I correct or not? So I am writing here definition. Just see, acids are those chemical substance. Acids are those chemical substance. Those chemical substances which furnishes H positive or H3O positive ion when dissolved in water. Okay, so chemically what are the acids? Chemically, acids are those substances which furnishes H positive. Just see, in all the cases H positive is there or not? Or H3O hydronium ion when dissolved in the water. So for the chemical substance to be acidic, what is the condition? In aqueous solution or watery solution, they must furnish H positive. Then only they are the acids. So please remember this one. So don't think that chemical compound which contain hydrogen all are acidic in nature. Their condition is they should dissolve in the water and they should furnish H positive ion. Then only they are the acid. There are so many chemical compounds which contains hydrogen ion, but they are not acids, like ethyl alcohol, CH3COOH. Just now I will write some examples. They contain hydrogen, but they are not acidic, because when they dissolve in the water, they do not furnish H positive ion. So you should take care this one. Okay, means all hydrogen containing compounds are not acids. Only those hydrogen containing compounds are acids which when dissolved in the water must furnish H positive or hydronium ion. So if you remember this one, then you will have the clarity as far as the ideas of acids are concerned. Okay. Okay, just see here. I wrote some compounds and they contain hydrogen. Just this is glucose, this is sucrose, this is ethyl alcohol. Just see, plenty of hydrogen is there. 12 hydrogen, 22 hydrogen, 6 hydrogen, but they are not acidic. Why? Because when they dissolve in the water, they do not furnish H positive ion. So all hydrogen containing compounds are not acidic because they are not acids. They are not acids because they do not furnish H positive ion or hydronium ion or H3O positive ion in their aqueous solution. That is why they are not acidic in nature. To be acid, what is the important thing? They must furnish H positive ion. Okay. And now just see, there is one more question. Rainwater conduct electricity. Now just see, in the last video I explained you one activity. What was that one? glowing of bulb. Acids are good conductor of electricity. Why acids are good conductor of electricity? Because acid contain H positive ion. There are two types of conductor. One is electrolytic conductor. Another one is metallic conductor. So metallic conductor conduct electricity through free electron and free electron. And electrolytic conductor, they conduct electricity through free ions. Okay, so acid contain H positive ion. That is why they are good conductor. Okay, now same logic will apply here also. Rainwater conduct electricity, but distilled water does not. Rainwater, you know, rainwater contains so many minerals and acids. From where acids are including in the rainwater? They are incorporated or they are dissolved when oxides of carbon dioxide, oxides of sulfur dioxide, oxides of nitrogen, NO2 gas, they dissolve in the water and they form acid, hydrochloric acid, then sulfuric acid, then nitric acid. So in the rainwater these acids are present. So rainwater that contains acid, and acid contains ion, H positive ion, and another one ion is also there, like in HCl, H positive plus chloride ion. Now H2SO4, H positive and sulfate ion. So rainwater contains acid due to dissolution of acids and minerals into it, while in distilled water those minerals and acids are not there. That is why it is a bad conductor. Simple logic. And now try to understand everywhere in the definition of acids what we told. I told you that acids are those substances which furnishes H positive ion in their aqueous solution or watery solution. So what is the role of water in dissociation of acid? What is the role of water in furnishing H positive or hydronium ion? That must be understood. Okay, means there is a role of water. I will do one activity, then you will come to know the importance of water in dissociation of acids. Okay, just see the role of water in dissociation of acid. Okay, what is the role of water in dissociation of acid? There is one more question. Dry HCl gas is not acidic, but becomes acidic in presence of water. You will understand with the help of this activity. Just see. Take one test tube. Okay. In that test tube, take sodium chloride, and with the help of stirrer, that just you add concentrate H2SO4. So see the reaction. NaCl plus concentrate H2SO4. So here product will be NaHSO4 plus HCl gas G. Okay, remember, if you take here, see the beauty of the chemistry. Now here if you take dilute H2SO4, just see NaCl plus dilute H2SO4. So here product will be Na2SO4 and 2HCl. Okay, remember, see, concentrate is making sodium hydrogen sulfate, and dilute H2SO4 is making Na2SO4. So we do not require this reaction, we require this reaction only. So now just see, when NaCl and concentrate H2SO4 they react together, which gas is coming out? HCl gas is coming out. But this is HCl gas, this is dry. Okay. Now bring here litmus paper. Which litmus paper? Blue litmus. Blue litmus you bring. Litmus blue paper here. Okay. So now just see, in presence of acid, blue litmus paper turns into red. But just see, this blue litmus paper remains blue only. Remains blue. It does not change into red. Okay. Why? Because this HCl gas which is coming out in this reaction, that is dry. What is that one? Dry HCl gas. Okay. And now try to understand. You do one thing. Now take litmus blue only, but wet litmus you bring. Wet. Okay. So that time what would be there? Blue litmus blue litmus change to red. Blue litmus change into red. Okay, now just see the role of water. When dry litmus paper came into contact of dry HCl gas, no change take place. But the moment you brought wet blue litmus, that changes into red. Okay, so now the role of water is there. Now what is the role of water? That only we have to understand. Just see, try to understand here. I will explain you the role of water. Just see, HCl. Okay, so H and Cl is there. H and Cl is there or not? H and Cl, they are bonded with each other. Covalent bond is there. Okay, there are two types of bond: ionic bond and covalent bond. Ionic bond, which is formed by the giving and taking of electron. Covalent bond is formed between. Bonding means what? Bonding means association between two things. Association between two things. So here two things are H and Cl, and they are bonded together by covalent bond. Covalent bond is the bond which is formed by the sharing of electron. In next unit it is there, we'll explain you. Right now just you understand, there is a bonding between H and Cl. Okay, and now try to understand this HCl when come into contact of water. So water means what? H2O. Okay, oxygen negative, hydrogen positive. You can make like that, H and this is O. So this is the negative end, and hydrogen, that is the positive end. And now just see, in HCl also, Cl is negative, H is positive. So H will be surrounded by negative part of water, H. So now just see, I am writing here O, here H, and here H. Here O, here H, and here H. Here O, here H, and here H. So this is negative, this is negative, this is negative. Correct? Now this is positive, this is positive, this is positive, positive, this is positive, this is positive. Now just see, H is surrounded by the negative end of water. Okay? Now Cl will be surrounded by the positive end of water. Which is the positive end of water? The positive end of water is hydrogen. Okay, so H positive, O and H. Okay, now here also write H, O, H, negative, positive, positive. This side also H, O, H, negative, positive and positive. And now try to understand here. Now the H positive is surrounded by O negative of water. Cl is surrounded by positive end of water, that is H. So from here that bonding will be broken. Means, now just see, I am writing this side. Just see, this HCl when it comes into contact of water, it dissociates into H positive and Cl negative. Okay, H positive and Cl negative. Okay, so what is the role of water here? Water is playing important role in dissociation of acid. It breaks the bond which is present between H and another ion. Just see, now H will be surrounded by O of water. So now H will go toward the O side, Cl will go toward the H side. So now suppose this is the bond, H and Cl. This is the bond here. Okay, this is the bond, positive and negative. So from here, this is attracted by O of water. This will be attracted by H of water. Correct or not? So just see, from here bond will be broken. And this will be ionized. And the moment it furnishes H positive, it becomes acidic. Because H positive is only responsible for converting or changing blue litmus into red. Acidic nature is because of H positive. So remember, in physical property of acids, what we told? Acid is sour in taste. Acid is turning blue litmus red. So many things. but actually who is converting blue litmus into red? This H positive. So chemically acids are those substances which contains H and they furnish H positive. They furnish H positive when dissolved in the water. When dissolved in the water. So what is the first role of water? Just write down here. Take any acid. Suppose H2SO4 you are taking. H2SO4. So now what would be there? Now there is a bonding between hydrogen and sulfate. And the moment you dissolve in the water, H will be surrounded by O of water. Sulfate will be surrounded by H of water. The bond which is present between H and sulfate will be broken. And it will be ionized into H positive and sulfate 2 negative. Correct or not? So now what is the role of water here? What is the first role? So the role of water is it helps in the ionization or dissociation of acid. Role of water here I am writing. The first role is it helps in dissociation of acid. Means what you can write? Helps in furnishing of H positive. Okay. What is the second one? It helps in dissociation of acid. Helps in furnishing of H positive. What is the second one role? Just see. Here only I will tell you. Now with the help of water H positive is removed. Now try to understand who will stabilize the H positive. Because it is very reactive ion. Ion is always reactive or active than atoms and molecules. Okay. So just try to understand. How you have written the reaction, just see. Actually this is not your original reaction. Original reaction is this one. HCl plus H2O. So here what is there? H3O positive and Cl negative. So now just see. This H is coming here. H positive is coming here. Water. So first role is it helps in the dissociation of acid or it helps in furnishing of H positive. Second role is also there. What is that second role? Second role of water is it accept H positive and stabilizes it in form of H3O positive, hydronium ion. So these are the two roles. Just see, who is accepting H positive? Who is accepting H positive? This is only, just see, here only I can write this reaction. Okay, first water, what did water? Just see, first water dissociate HCl into H positive and Cl negative. Now what is the second role? Now this H positive will be gained by water in the form of H3O positive. Now you add these reaction. So H positive. Now here what is there? HCl plus H2O, that is equal to H3O positive plus Cl negative. Now both are same thing only. Just see, this reaction and that reaction is same only. Only here what is there? Both roles I have explained. First role of water is to dissociate the acid into H positive and corresponding ion. Second role is it accept the H positive and form or stabilize this one into hydronium ion form. So these are the two roles of water. So the role of water is also finished. Okay. Remember, only acidic solution means aqueous solution of acid is acidic in nature. Dilution of concentrate acid. Okay. So dilution means what? Acid can be diluted by the addition of water. Okay. Always remember, dilution of concentrate acid is an example of exothermic reaction. It is an example of exothermic reaction. How you can say that it is an example of exothermic reaction? Just see. Take little bit quantity of water in one test tube and keep on adding acid to it, any concentrate acid, HNO3 or H2SO4. Okay. So what you are doing? You are adding this one to water. means either H2SO4 or HNO3. Concentrate you are adding to water. Okay, then what would be there? Now this reaction would be there. They are acid, they will furnish H positive, and water is the gainer of H positive ion, so hydronium ion will be formed and sulfate or nitrate ion. But if you touch the bottom of the test tube, it will become hot, and after some time it will become very, very hot. It means what? When you were diluting acid, concentrate acid, some amount of heat is evolved. Because of that only your test tube become hot. Okay, so this activity proves that dilution of an acid is an example of exothermic reaction. Now question arises here, how to dilute the concentrate acid? So two methods is there. Okay, suppose I want to dilute the milk. So two processes there. Either you have to add milk to water or water to milk. Are you getting my point or not? Either you have to add water to milk or milk to water. So same way here also there are two processes. First process is always add acid to water. Okay, just see, this is the right method. This is stirrer. Now concentrate H2SO4 you are adding, and already you have taken here water. Okay, so keep stirring and keep adding. Keep stirring, keep adding. Okay, this is right method. Another method is also there, but that is not correct method. Never add water to acid. Once again listen. Always add acid to water. Never add water to acid. Why? Just see. Why always add acid to water? Just see. When you take water here and keep on adding acid to it, so now here whose quantity is more? Water quantity is more. And drop by drop or bit by bit you are adding the acid. So exothermic reaction would be there. Exothermic reaction would be there. Heat will be evolved, but specific heat of water is very high. So it will absorb that heat which is evolving during the addition of concentrate acid to water. Okay, that is why water should be here and acid should be keep on adding. So always add acid to water. So because a specific heat of water is more, hence it absorbs the heat and solution will not burst out. Okay. Now, so what is the second case here? Never add water to acid because it is exothermic process and solution may burst out. Suppose you are adding water to acid. So now whose quantity is more here? Acid is more because already in the beaker you have taken acid. Now you keep on adding water. So when you keep on adding water, now reaction will be exothermic only. So now huge amount of heat will be evolved, and a specific heat of H2SO4 is not very high. So that heat, one stage will come that heat along with the solution may burst out and it may fall on your face. So this is dangerous process. It may splash out from the beaker due to high amount of heat evolved. Then what would be there? Then ultimately you will be the sufferer. Okay, injury may be there. So what, once again I am telling you, while diluting the acid, always add acid to water, never add water to acid. Okay, so this is the correct procedure while diluting the acid. Okay, just see effect of dilution on H positive ion concentration. So when an acid is diluted, H positive ion concentration per unit volume decreases. Hence solution become less acidic. Means what is there? Just see. You will understand with the help of one activity. This is one test tube. Okay. Now here you take 5 milliliter of HCl, dilute HCl. Okay. Now this is test tube A. Now in the test tube B, you do one thing. Here just remove 1 milliliter of HCl and take it, plus dilute it by addition of 9 milliliter of water, H2O, 9 milliliter of water. Okay, further add 1 milliliter from, this is test tube B, this is test tube C. Now here what is there? Out of 5 milliliter you have taken only 1 milliliter and 9 milliliter water you have added, means you have diluted. Now further take 1 milliliter, and add here 9 milliliter of H2O in test tube C. Okay, you have taken just C. Once again listen here, 5 milliliter of HCl you have taken. Now 1 milliliter you have taken out and added here. So now what is there? From 5 milliliter only 1 milliliter you have taken and 9 times water you have added. Further you take 1 milliliter from here and further add here C with 9 milliliter of water. So just try to understand, means as you move from test tube A to C, dilution is increases or not? Here little bit quantity of water was there because you have taken dilute HCl. Now here what is there? In that water further 9 milliliter of water you have added. Here further 9 milliliter of water you have added. So means what is there? As we move from test tube A to C, dilution is increases or not? Now what I told here? I told here when an acid is diluted, H positive ion concentration per unit volume decreases. H positive ion concentration per unit volume decreases. Hence solution becomes less acidic. See, now how can we say that solution become less acidic? Now do one thing. In all the three test tube, you add zinc, granulated zinc or magnesium metal. So just see, when zinc or magnesium metal react with acids, what does they evolve? They evolve hydrogen gas. Okay, so hydrogen gas will evolve in all the three test tube because HCl is there. But see, in one of the test tube where HCl is less diluted, now bubbles will be more. So in test tube A, bubbles are more, means hydrogen gas is more as compared to test tube B and C. So here rate of evolution of H2 with respect to test tube A, B and C when zinc or Mg metal is added. Okay, so just see what would be here. Just see, now in test tube A more, B than C. Why? Because just see, here this HCl is less diluted. Okay, means here hydrogen ion concentration is more. Yes, then only H2 gas will come out. Here hydrogen concentration is less as compared to A, but more as compared to C. Now in C the least hydrogen ion concentration is there. That is why rate of evolution of H2 gas is least here. More the H positive ion, more will be the evolution of hydrogen gas. Okay, when they react with zinc or magnesium metal. In all three cases you have added zinc or Mg. Here also zinc or Mg. Here also zinc or Mg. Okay, so it is proved now when an acid is diluted, the concentration of H positive ion, here write the concentration of H positive ion per unit volume decreases, hence solution become less acidic. Okay, this was more acidic, hence more hydrogen gas is evolved. This was least acidic, hence please remember this one, this conclusion. When an acid is diluted, then H positive ion concentration per unit volume decreases and hence solution become less acidic. Means per unit volume H positive ion concentration decreases. Okay, so this is all about this one. Now uses of mineral acids. What is the use of mineral acid? Means H2SO4, HNO3, HCl. H2SO4 is called king of chemicals. It is used in paint, varnishes, petroleum, refining, drugs and storage battery. Now HNO3 is used in the manufacturing of fertilizers, ammonium nitrate. Okay, ammonium nitrate. HCl, it is used in textile industry, food and dye industry. Okay, sometimes what is there, to clean the surface of metal, HCl gas is used. To clean the surface of metal, HCl gas is used. So please remember this one. In this way, your all the things which are related with the acids I have completely completed. Now Monday onwards I will teach the basis. So nobody should tell that acid is not completed. Thank you.